Hey, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, showing you a Kickstarter preview of the Librarians adventure card game. This one is on Kickstarter now, and I have no familiarity with the movies or TV show this is based on, but I played it with the designer on Tabletop Simulator, thought it was a lot of fun, and asked to cover it. What I'm going to show you today is the first introductory adventure, so it's a bit quicker than the average one, but that's good to show you the system. And a reminder that, as always for my Kickstarter coverage, I receive no compensation for this, I just want to help you make an informed decision. So to first go through how the game is set up, you take a specific mission, so this is Assault on the Library, and it'll sometimes have special instructions. So in this case, we're taking the first player token. By the way, both of these got left out of my prototype, that's why they're in sleeves, I had to print them myself. And you're turning this face down to its kind of unpowered side. And additionally, it says we're searching for Relic Looter and putting it into play. That's an enemy we've already got here. If we had 3 or 4 players, we'd have another negative card in effect, but I'm just doing a 2-player game in this case. Now, I'm not going to read all the flavor text, but the basic idea is we are helping to guard the library, which is this kind of housing place of all these ancient, powerful artifacts. And this snake clan of like ninjas are coming in and trying to steal it all. So first, for each mission, you're going to have 1 or more disturbance cards, which this is kind of like Arkham Horror, if you've played that, where once we build up a number of tokens on this disturbance, it'll get flipped and badness will advance. In this case, we have only 1, so if we get to 8, then we are done. And then we're going to have a series of mission cards. 3 in this case. You'll see they're in numerical order. So we have the top one in place, and this is it for the kind of enemy deck setup, except for shuffling all of these cards that you might encounter later on. Now, as for the characters we control, there are at least 4 in the core game, and each of them has kind of their own special mechanics and special cards. But here I'm using Eve, the team leader. She's a tough combat person, and Jacob, a blue-collar art historian, who's really good at figuring out puzzles and things. Now, like a lot of adventure card games, including the living card games from Fantasy Flight, you're going to construct your character's deck, although they do have base ones. And the deck construction here is a lot like the Star Wars LCG that Fantasy Flight had a while back, where instead of just picking individual cards, you have sets of 7 cards, and you have to take all 7 cards at once, even if you don't necessarily want all of them. So each character has their own set they must always include that kind of goes along with their special powers. And then, in this case, I've also got, like, some cards from the Well-Prepared set, some cards from the Teamwork set. I'm just using the base decks that were sent with the prototype, but I could have done some deck building and kind of mix and match some sets to build my characters differently. I'm going to say Eve is the first player for now, and later on this will flip. Remember, it was flipped at the beginning of the mission, and it actually becomes an ally that can help us, and he kind of moves back and forth. But for now, we're just going to have him down. And each character is going to draw 5 cards. And there are a few main types of cards. You can identify them by the icon right here. This one is an attachment, which means you attach it to something. Here, attached to a character, and it usually provides some kind of frequently usable effect, like this first aid kit. You have events with an hourglass icon that are one-off effects and then discarded. You have sidekicks with this little hat icon, allies you can play, although each character is limited to having 1 generally, barring special text. And then, although I didn't draw one, you have artifacts, which are powerful items that can go on your hero, but once again, you can only have 1 of those in play at a time. And each character gets a free mulligan in the same style as Arkham Horror LCG, in that you can just put cards to the side, redraw the same number you put to the side, and then shuffle the cards you didn't use back in your deck. So from this, I think First Aid Kit's the only one I really like. I want to get some good attachments and maybe dig for an artifact. So I'm getting 4 replacements. Ooh, Kevlar Vest, very powerful. 9mm pistol, also great. And a Hercules Club, that's my artifact in this deck. So this is awesome. A lot of good stuff. Although, since I got rid of my sidekicks, I don't have any of them. And then, like I said, I'm going to shuffle these cards back in. And finally, I'm going to take the top 4 cards of my deck, Sight Unseen, and splay them out so it's easy to see how many I have. And these will be my energy for playing other cards. You might have seen in the upper left of each of the cards, you have this little lightning bolt and a number. You have to discard as many cards from your energy to play a given card. So this is going to be kind of my resources for the first turn. Okay, now we're going to do the same with Jacob. Let's see, I got 2 attachments that are decent. Forearm block, that's some damage prevention. Ooh, this is Jacob's unique sidekick, so I think I'll keep her and dig for the rest. I'd love to get his artifact, which is really powerful. Oh, but I got another pretty powerful sidekick. Another sidekick. Okay, way too many sidekicks. And another attachment and an event. All right, we'll make this work. And then, once again, 4 energy to start for Jacob. Now let's quickly run through the basics of the turn. First you have the preparation phase, where each player gets to play as many sidekicks or attachments or artifacts as they like, paying the energy cost each time. Play it energy just goes down into your discard pile. So I could, for example, play like Angry Bar Patron and Art We Live In. I could save some energy, you get the idea. Then we have the adventure phase, where each character is going to draw one adventure card. These will usually spawn new enemies, or spawn obstacles we have to overcome, or be one-time events that do something negative to us. Then we have the action phase, where in whatever order we like, we can each basically resolve some actions. And most actions will require us to tap our character. We can do things like attack, get more energy. We can play cards that say action on them, or effects like shooting someone with my pistol. And in addition, at the beginning of the action phase, each of my characters can separately choose if they want to take one enemy who's unassigned, over here kind of guarding the mission, and bring them over to them. Basically, if they're over here, they're going to help progress this disturbance and get us closer to losing the mission, but if they're on us, they're going to attack us. And that goes right into the next phase, where enemies will attack us for this value down here in the bottom right. The disturbance always gains 1 token, and if there are any obstacles or enemies still staying over here, they could add more. And if it gets to 8, we're going to flip it, which in this case will lose the scenario for us. And how do we win? We need to place a number of tokens based on player count. So here for 2 players, we need 5 to progress past this first mission. And we'll generally do that by completing tests against it. So in this case, this is a guile check, kind of a trickery one. If we can beat a difficulty of 2, I'll show you what that looks like in a second. We can add 1 token here. And in this case, also, whenever we defeat an enemy, we add a token here. So just fighting off guys will help us too. Finally, at the end of the turn, we ready all the cards that were exhausted, and each of our characters gets a mix of 3 cards split between draws and energy, however you like, and you make the choice one at a time. So you can draw some really good card that's expensive, and then choose to put the rest into energy to start building up toward it. So those are the main basics of the game, but let's talk quickly about tests. So one of the actions one of your characters can take, exhausting themselves, is to do a test on any card. It could be a test on one of your own cards, it could be a test on an enemy you want to punch, or in this case, a test to try to resolve the mission. And what you do is, whichever character is taking the action, you take a number of light dice equal to their stat in the indicated test, and a number of darker dice for the difficulty of the test. So in this case, we'd have 2 of each, and you roll them. It's a pretty good result. So the basic result for the heroes are successes, this little symbol here. These are opposed by these little failure symbols here. They cancel each other out one by one. On the normal difficulty that I'm playing, these count as a failure and also can trigger special powers on the disturbance or on the enemy or obstacle you're facing. And in a similar way, you have this little, I don't know, what is it, a tree symbol? And that can trigger abilities on the acting character or stuff they have equipped, like Jacob can gain his unique clue tokens that give him special powers. Alright, that's it. Let's see if we can fight off these snake soldiers and save the library. So technically the preparation phase is all simultaneous, but we'll work through it one character at a time. Eve, as I mentioned, is very good at combat, not so great at solving puzzles, and decent at guile and arcane stuff. She also got a ton of health, and her special power is when she rolls that little tree symbol, she can take a damage on herself to add an aid token to any character in the game, including Jacob and his characters. And in the future, when they do an action, a test, they can spend that aid token to add a die to their roll. So she kind of supports everybody else by getting herself hurt. So you can see immediately why the Kevlar vest is a nice one. I can attach it to her, and I can exhaust it once a turn to reduce 1 damage, making her aid action not cost anything potentially. She's also great at fighting, and this is a mission where we got to kill a lot of enemies. So a 9mm pistol, I can attack people on another character, because usually she couldn't attack Jacob's enemies, for example. Or she can also spend tokens from it, bullets, to get +1 to her roll. This is an event to basically take an attack for somebody else and then attack back, so not a bad one. Hercules Club, the only artifact in her deck, is a consistent +1 to her combat stat, and also you can exhaust it to grab an enemy onto me, so that can help her kind of deal with a lot of people. And First Aid gives her a consistent way to heal. But I think I'm going to go for the 1-2 combo of fighting harder and protecting myself with my special power. Use all 4 of my energy to get a Kevlar vest and a giant club of Hercules. Meanwhile, for Jacob, he's not bad at fighting, even worse at insight. Okay at guile, but his big thing is lore and kind of solving puzzles and things. A little bit less health. He can get clue tokens, and usually these little tree symbols are a limit once per roll, but he can do it twice per roll. And then on later checks, he can spend a clue token to re-roll either one of the positive dice or one of the negative dice and try to go for a better thing, but only once per check. So you could get an angry bar patron, a pretty good fighter, and if someone hurts it and they don't die and they have a lot of health, they'll hurt it back, which again is good for this somewhat combat-focused scenario. Protection of Ra lets you cancel kind of the enemy events, this little exclamation point on cards, which can stop some nasty stuff. Mindy has no stats, but can take an action to add progress tokens to these obstacles that'll get in our way. Art We Live In is kind of looking forward. I can put it on a mission card or an obstacle. That's what the little wall symbol is. And when we beat it, basically, we'll get some energy or some cards. And then his unique ally, pretty good stats for those two. You can't do anything with the character if their stats are dashes like this, and the check requires that stat. And she can also gain clue tokens on her own, but for her, she can spend them to automatically resolve obstacles and stuff. So she's pretty good. But the bar patron kind of fits the fighting thing, but Eve can already do a lot of fighting. Yeah, I think I can play Serena later. Let's have the bar patron for now for 3 of my 4. And I could play Art We Live In, but doesn't seem to have an immediate need for that, so let's chill with that guy. So now we get to the adventure phase, and starting with Eve, we're each going to draw an adventure card. So here we've got our first obstacle to join our relic looter enemy. So most of these enter play unassigned, which means they just sit next to the mission. And basically, if we don't deal with them, we have to accrue this many successes over its 1 difficulty in checks. Then at the end of each round, it'll add this much to the disturbance. So that's going from 1 token added out of the 8 we need to lose to 3 if we don't deal with this. But because this one's so nasty, they help us out a little bit. It says, enter play, exhaust this artifact. So it actually won't apply its effects this turn, although we can still try to defeat it. And even though Eve drew it, it goes next to the relic looter in the unassigned area. So we can deal with it, but we don't have to yet. And Jacob will draw, one of the enemy events. This is called a complication. So he'd have to make a 4 difficulty insight check, which is his worst stat. And I have to ignore any tree symbols I roll. And for each point I fail by, I have to discard the top 3 cards of my deck. And that might not seem that bad, but whenever your deck runs out, you have to draw another adventure card. Similar to, I think, Marvel Champions does that. Now, he does have Protection of Ra, but since going through his deck is just going to draw another one of these, I think we're okay just suffering it. So here we go, 4 black dice, 1 die for his skill. And we ignore the trees, unfortunately. So the 1 cancels out the other one. We're just left with 1 success, which means he failed by 1. He's going to discard 3 cards. By the way, at the moment, the comet symbol has no additional effect, but individual cards and other things can change that. So not too bad of a turn, really. Jacob's discarding 3 cards. And with that, we go into the action phase. Eve is going to draw over this relic looter so that she can attack it and he won't help advance the disturbance. And we can technically take our actions in whatever order we want, but I think it makes sense for Eve to try to smack this guy. He'll deal 2 damage every turn. He's got a 2 difficulty for a combat check, and he's got 4 life. And kind of like the check you just saw, we're trying to beat whatever he rolls, and each point we beat it by is going to deal 1 damage to him. So Eve's got 3 combat normally, plus 1 from her club. And that guy had 2 defense, so we're rolling 4 white and 2 black. And you are maxed at 4 dice of each type. So if I had gained a 5th good die in this case, I would instead take away one of their dice and be against 4 and 1 here. Nice, okay, so that's a 1 failure minus 1 success. So we got 2 successes and 2 of the tree symbols. The 2 successes are going to deal damage to the relic looter, so he's got 2 life left. And Eve only has 1 tree symbol available to her right now. She can deal 1 damage to herself to add an aid token to any character. So I could give it to Jacob. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to try to do the mission, so let's go ahead and give it to him. And she's exhausted from taking an action, so there is nothing else I can really do. All right, so coming over to Jacob, he's very good at taking care of this unstable artifact. He's got a 3 and it's got 1. I don't have to use my aid token to go up to 4. I can probably beat it without. Yeah, you know, let's try it. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to deal with the unstable artifact without using any aid. So again, that's 3 versus 1. All right, so right now I am not destroying it. I got over it by 1 because that's going to cancel out 1 of my 2 successes, plus I have that symbol. But here's a rule I didn't talk about. Once per check, each player can discard a card from their hand individually to change a die to a single success symbol, one of the good dice. So in this case, either Eve or Jacob could discard 1 card to get me the 3rd success I need minus their 1 success to completely overcome this unstable artifact and discard it. I mean, there's way too many sidekicks in Jacob's deck right now, so he'll discard it and get rid of Mindy, I guess. And don't forget he did have a tree icon left, so he's going to go ahead and give himself a clue token. They didn't send me that many tokens for the prototype, so I'm just using a little spare one here. The unstable artifact is discarded. Now, Jacob's angry bar patron can only attack, and unfortunately we don't have any other enemies because Eve's dealing with a relic looter. But every character has access to 2 actions. They can exhaust to heal 1 damage from themselves, or they can exhaust to discard a card and take the next card as an energy. So we just got Jacob up to 2 energy, although we are milling through his deck faster. And I'm sorry, I forgot to say this. When Eve took the damage to add the aid token to Jacob, I meant to say she was going to use her Kevlar vest to cancel that damage. So now we go into the enemy phase. The relic looter damages Eve for 2. If she had any sidekicks, she could assign the damage to them, but she doesn't. If we had the required progress on the mission, this is when we would check and advance it, but we do not have 5 yet. And then we add tokens to the disturbance of 1 automatically, plus any for active obstacles. We don't have any, and enemies over here, so just the 1 out of 8. Now we refresh all of our hero and enemy cards, and we're going to make that choice of 3 cards, splitting it between card draw and energy. So Eve's doing that first, and quite honestly, I'd love to get out the 9mm pistol for better fighting and or the first aid kit. So I think she's just going to take all energy for the moment and hold off and try to dig for a sidekick. So there we go, 3 for her. As for Jacob, he can't play Serena right now without throwing away his bar patron, and I don't really care much about the other ones, so let's start drawing cards. Another Protection of Ra. Oh, awesome, Philosopher's Stone. This is his 1 artifact in his deck, although you could build to have more. You can exhaust the Philosopher's Stone to gain 1 energy or draw a card every turn. Very nice. So, since I already have 2 energy, let's take my 3rd card as energy, just so I'm not broke after I play that in a second. Alright, and the first player card's coming over to Jacob. He'll be first this turn. So, preparation, let's definitely get that Philosopher's Stone on Jacob. Artifacts always get attached to you. They can't go on anybody else. That'll cost 2 of my 3 energy. And then I guess maybe I should play the art we live in. Well, there's no hurry. The mission's clearly not going to be completed this turn. Actually, you know what? I will use the Philosopher's Stone right now to draw another card, see if there's anything else we could play. Ooh, Chair Slam, a nice combat event, but we don't have the energy for it, so we'll hang on to that. Meanwhile, Eve is a simple lady. I think we're going to go Pistol now and First Aid Kit later. So this is going to get 5 tokens, and again, I can spend 1 to do an action to shoot somebody else's enemy or an unassigned enemy. Or I can gain another +1 to my attacks, which would put me up to 5 combat, in this case taking away 1 of the black dice. And for this one, I'll just use a health token, since I'm pretty sure I'll know that my gun is not injured. Did use up all my energy, though. Jacob's first to draw an adventure. Ooh, Occult Fanatic. So first of all, this card clarifies the rule, because this is kind of the tutorial mission. But whenever you draw an enemy and they don't have any other text about where they go, they get assigned to you unless you already have an enemy. So this guy's pretty easy to kill. 2 health, no defense, but will hit you for 2. But his nasty thing is that you draw another card immediately. Okay, another obstacle. Save the artifacts. Okay, so when defeated, we get a token on the mission, so it'll help us succeed. But we need 3 to beat it, and it's Guile, which is what neither of us is great at. Now, we do have an alternative option. As an action, we can add a disturbance token to the disturbance to discard this without actually defeating it. But I'd love to get that token on the mission, so we'll see if we can collaborate to make that happen. Meanwhile, for Eve, oh, another magical disturbance, same as what Jacob got, so we'll go ahead and roll. She's slightly better at this. She has a 2 instead of a 1. Ooh. Okay, so we ignore that. We cancel 1 failure, so she's going to discard 6 cards from her deck. Alright, so first things first, let's see if our angry bar patron can take out the Cult Fanatic by himself. That's 2 versus 0. Nice thing is, this means we can guarantee damage by discarding cards from our hand, although, wow! Bar Patron, you are a tough guy. He doesn't have any tree symbol, so it's just 3 successes, but more than enough to take out this guy. And don't forget the special text of Defend the Library. Every time we defeat an enemy, we're getting a free token, so we're 1/5 of the way there. And speaking of, I do want to try to take care of this. So Jacob's going to take an action to try to save the artifacts. He's got 2 Guile, but he's discarding Eve's aid token to make it 3, and he's got a clue to re-roll a die if he needs to. So that's 3 versus 2. Come on. Ooh, okay. I'll count that as a failure, so I like this. Awesome! So we got 3, and he can get another clue. That was a great roll. So this is discarded, and we get another token on the mission, so that's 2 out of 5. Alright, we're not going to stop there. Let's smash this guy with Eve attacking, and what the hey, let's go ahead and use her pistol. So normally it'd be 3 versus 2. She gets +1 from the club, and another +1 from the pistol she just shot, so that guy's down to 1 defense. I'll need to get 2 more damage on him. Pretty sure I got it. Oh, actually I didn't, did I? Now again, the tree's only going to help her once, but her or Jacob can discard a card to get a third success, and that will finish the guy off. And Jacob's on with a lot of rando stuff. Let's get rid of one of his protections of Ra. And she did have a tree icon, so she'll go ahead and give somebody an aid and use her Kevlar vest to not actually take the damage. I think she'll put it on herself this time. Relic Looter is defeated. That's 1 mission token for defeating an enemy. And look, when defeated, add a mission token. So we got 2. We're 4/5 of the way there. But the negative of that is we won't check for advancement until the enemy phase of next round. So we still have to survive through the entire next phase, even if we get the last token right away. Speaking of the enemy phase, we're kicking butt, so there's nobody to mess with us. We just get that 1 more disturbance token, 1/4 of the way there. And Jacob's unexhausted, passing this back over to Eve. He's got to make his choice. I'd love to have a chair slam ready to go, so let's get 1 energy, and then a draw for my second. Ooh, Hour of Need is really nice. It automatically damages a non-unique enemy or adds tokens to a obstacle, where X is equal to the damage on my hero. But Jacob's not hurt yet, so I'm not going to really be saving up for that. Let's draw again. And final card I'm drawing is a Message in Stone. It's a lot like Art We Live in that Jacob puts it on a mission or obstacle, and then when that's completed, in this case we put this on any character, and it's kind of like a free 2 successes they can use on any roll. Pretty excellent. So I think I'm definitely going to try to get that into play. And as for Eve, don't forget she still wants to get that first aid kit, so let's get 1 energy, and then let's draw a card. Oh, it's actually a sidekick for her, although a very weak one, 1 life, and not great stats, but when the Trusted Guide comes into play or leaves play, I get to put a progress token on an obstacle for free, so that can be pretty nice. But let's draw again. Well, I don't have enough energy for anything. Let's go ahead and play another energy. Alright, and for now, I'm just going to play the first aid kit attached to Eve. So now she has an alternate tree effect. She can heal 1 damage from any character, so that'll help her to get rid of her damage. Very nice. As for Jacob, he could save up for the chair slam, but I think we're pretty good on damage dealing. So instead I'm going to Indiana Jones it up and be an art historian, or I guess he was an archaeologist. I'm going to pay both my energy to place both of these on the mission, which we're 99% sure we're going to finish with the last token this turn. Let's see what adventure card Eve got. Brotherhood Bruiser. Okay, Sentinel. Enters play guarding the mission with the fewest cards guarding it. No tokens may be added to a mission while any ready cards guard it. So we can still grab him during the action phase. But he's pretty tough. 2 life, that's not too bad, but really good defense and a lot of damage. As for Jacob, another obstacle. How large is this place? Enters play. If another copy of How Large Is This Place is in play, discard this card and draw another one. Now this one is nasty. It does give the disturbance a effect for those comets, which is to add another token to the disturbance and making us lose faster. Only need 3 successes to get rid of it, though. I think Jacob's all over that. And no defense, so it's not too bad as long as he deals with it before we do any other rolls, because anything else we do, like fighting that Brotherhood Bruiser, if they roll a comet, it's going to hurt us. So on that note, let's have Jacob go right into it and try to take care of this. He's got his 2 clue tokens if he needs them. So that's 3 versus 0. And we just need 1 more. I'll use a clue token first, because you can only use 1 per roll anyway. Ah, well that could get me a clue token, but no, I need 1 more success. So I'm going to discard a card. Who's going to discard it? Yeah, I still think Jacob, with his abundance of sidekicks, is the go-to here. So he'll discard 1 to completely get rid of this. And before I forget, let's go ahead and get an energy from the Philosopher's Stone. And let's see, the Bar Patron could try to punch the Brotherhood Bruiser. Oh, and then Eve could exhaust the club to take him from Jacob. So yeah, we'll try a 1-2 punch. So Bar Patron first. Although the odds are not on his side with the black dice outnumbering his. Okay. So we're back to no comet effect, but yeah, that didn't go well. Even if we gave him an extra success, it wouldn't help. So I guess that was kind of a waste. So now Eve is going to exhaust the club, although that means that she will have 1 less attack because she's not getting its bonus. So I'm at 4, this guy's at 3. I could get rid of my aid token to get rid of 1 of his. Let's do it. It's looking a lot weaker now. Pistol Club combo. Oh, no. Okay, so that cancels both my successes, so getting another one won't really be that important, although maybe I want to do it anyway. I guess instead of getting an aid token, she'll use her first aid kit to heal herself 1. Yeah, you know what? I think Jacob will use his Hour of Need, discarding it to deal 1 damage to the Bruiser, giving her the 3rd success she needed. Oh, wait, crap. We won't actually complete the mission if we don't kill that guy. So never mind lies, she's not going to heal herself. We'll also discard another card to change this into a success as well, and that will give us the 2 we need to kill him. So this time she has to be the one. Let's get rid of Trusted Guide. So she didn't heal the damage, but this guy's dead, and that'll give us the mission progress token. Alright, so first enemies attack, then the mission advances. We flip it over. Alright, again we have some flavor text. Basically, they keep on coming more and more. We realize we're going to have to give up the library. So we'll start mission 2, and now the first player token gets flipped up. Which is awesome, because we have Jenkins, played by the great John Larroquette. And he basically becomes an ally that switches back and forth between us, but with 3 in every stat, and if he rolls a tree, he exhausts the enemy or obstacle, so it doesn't do anything this round. Pretty awesome. Alright, and the first player searches the adventure deck and discard pile for 1 or 2, if we had more players, different obstacles, and puts them into play exhausted, guarding the mission. The mission in this case being cut the anchor chain. It's a pretty easy lore check. Jake will be all over that, and we gotta get 3 tokens. But now there's no special way to add extra tokens from killing enemies or anything, so it's not going to be that easy. We can pick any obstacle and it's going to be exhausted. I think how large is this place, even though it has the negative comet effect. It has no defense, so it's pretty easy to take out. Then we do get a 3rd token on the disturbance. And we're refreshing. So let's draw a card for Eve first. Oh, Field Medic. He can actually help with the mission. I like that. So let's go ahead and get an energy and... oh, what the hey, one more. As for Jacob, I'd like to have enough to play for Chair Slam. And then, ooh, Power of the Soul. Oh, there's a cool one. I attach it to him for 1. I can banish it to heal him, won't need that. But I get a different tree symbol. During a fight check, I can pay 1 energy to gain +2 successes, and then still gain a clue token as well. Pretty great. So that was 1, 2. Let's get 1 more and be able to play Power of the Soul and potentially Chair Slam as well, and just have Jacob smashing people. And speaking of, Jacob's first player with our friend Jenkins, and he'll get to spend 1 to get Power of the Soul equipped. Chair Slam's an event, so we can wait on that and play it whenever we need to. Meanwhile, Eve's going to pay 2 to play her Field Medic. He immediately heals somebody for 1 when he comes into play, same when he leaves. Besides that, he'll just be hanging out, ready to help. Let's draw our adventure cards. Oh, another how large is this place? So we discard it and draw another adventure card because 1's already in play, remember? Oh, this is good. This is another negative event, but look, it's what Jacob is good at. So I'm going to do a 4 check against that, but he's got 3. For each I fail by, I discard a random card from my hand. Well, I don't love that. So here we go, and Jacob's got 1 clue. Ooh, that was not great. Oh, no! Oh, you know, I am going to use a clue to reroll that comet, because don't forget, with the card in play, how large is this place, that would advance the disturbance one. Come on, come on. Okay, that's fine. I failed by 2. I do lose my entire hand. That's a bummer, but at least the disturbance didn't advance. As for Eve, another relic looter entering unassigned, but she can take care of him, and look, he'll add to the mission, so I don't mind that too much. Yeah, let's start the action phase by grabbing that guy, but I'm not going to attack him until I take care of how large is this place. Let's see, let's draw a card with the Philosopher's Stone now. Improvised weapon, a nice combat one, but I need 3 money, so I don't have it yet. Okay, so I need 3 successes here. I guess Jenkins or Jacob doesn't really matter much. Let's have Jenkins try to do it. So I need all 3 of these to take care of it. Oh! Wow! Good job, Jenkins. I'm not even going to try re-rolling any of those or doing anything. Let's go ahead and have Jacob try on his own. Okay. Oh, gosh, I still need to discard 2 cards. Okay, so we'll do Improvised Weapon from him. And Eve's only card from her. There goes all our mitigation for this round. But at least this is gone. And Eve will try to bulldoze this guy, so she'll spend 1 of her bullets. And with that in the club, she'll have 4, and he'll have only 1. Take this guy down. Okay, that looks much, much better. Wow, 4. He is dead, and she gets a bonus. I guess she'll use her Kevlar vest to get an aid token on somebody. You know, I'm actually going to put it on the Field Medic, because he's going to try to do the mission in a second. Speaking of the mission, the Relic Looter helps us out. Thanks, buddy. Oh, crud, wait, I forgot. Yeah, Art We Live In, I just kind of missed my chance. I don't even know what I would have wanted, so we'll just ignore that one. But Message in Stone, I don't know, let's put it on Jacob to give him 2 successes when he wants later on. Would have been probably useful instead of discarding those cards, but so it goes. That's finally Eve's Field Medic will discard his aid to get 2 books, 2 lore to try to cut the anchor chain. That gives us 2 dice versus 1, and even 1 success over will get a token on the mission. Yep, there we go. Nice. But again, we're just 1 shy, but I think we're doing pretty well. We've taken out everything again. So enemy phase will be a fairly boring 4th token, halfway to losing. But actually, maybe it won't be so boring. We're about to draw an extra adventure card. So let's see, we'll get 1 in our hand, another Message in Stone, a 2nd one in our hand. And you finish whatever is making you shuffle your deck, so I'm going to get my 3rd card, which, I don't need Philosopher's Stone, I guess I'll get another card. Another Protection of Ra. And now we interrupt everything else to draw a new adventure card. which are Serpent Ninjas, so they automatically enter play assigned to the player who drew them. So we're going to have somebody for our bar patron and Jacob to fight. Cool. As for Eve, she's not quite there yet. So she'll draw again. Oh, Soul of a Guardian is great. She can, whenever she takes damage, gain an energy for free. Pretty awesome. I'm actually going to get a third card because I want to have some mitigation of luck. Now she's got Jenkins helping her out. And yeah, the only thing I want to play is Soul of a Guardian. That'll be my only energy, but both of these events don't need any, so not bad. And then Jacob... I mean, I guess he could play another Message in Stone, right? Sure, why not? We'll put it on the mission since we know it's about to pop. Alright, Eve, what's coming your way? Another Brotherhood Bruiser guarding the mission. We'll pull him off in a second. Meanwhile, Jacob... Oh gosh, another Serpent Ninjas? Maybe he will take some damage finally. So first thing I want to do is pull the Bruiser over here and have Eve attack him. And sure, why not? She'll use her pistol again. So I'll put her all the way up to 4 and reduce his defense to 2. She only needs to hurt him twice. That looks pretty good. He is done, and... yeah. And let's see, I guess she could choose to take the damage and use Soul of a Guardian. Oh, although that would draw her card immediately and have us deal with something else. Well, better to know, I guess, right? So, okay, she'll hurt herself, not using her Kevlar vest. Use Soul of a Guardian to get an energy. She's going to put the aid token on the field medic. And she does have to draw a card. An unstable artifact. But good, it's not on the mission, so it won't stop us from doing it. And it enters exhausted, so we have a turn to deal with it. Alright, let's see how the field medic does. He's going to use the aid token to get +1 against the mission again. So that's 2 versus 1, and this will finish us up if he succeeds. Yeah, baby, 2 versus 1, good. So regardless of anything else, this will pop at the end of the turn. So I guess Jacob and Bar Patron are just free to punch some ninjas. So the Bar Patron go first, so that's a 2 versus 1. Do it! Smash a chair over his head! Oh, nice! Okay, ooh, if we discard a card, I think that guy's dead, right? 3 life, yes. So, Protection of Ra, who... oh, no, I'll discard my duplicate Philosopher's Stone. That makes a lot more sense. So that's 1 ninja gone. All right, now Jacob can go, but don't forget he's got his Message in Stone waiting to give him 2 successes if he needs it. And or you can use Power of the Soul to add 2 successes with a tree icon if he pays an energy. But apart from all that, it's still 2 versus 1. So that'd be 1 damage. He needs 2 more. So yeah, let's go and use his Message in Stone to take this guy out. He foretold your fate, and it was death. Man, so that was a heck of a turn. We cleared out everything except the obstacle. Oh wait, we aren't done. I forgot about Jenkins. Let's try to take that unstable artifact out. And that's 3 versus 1. We just need 2 successes to get it. Do it, John Larroquette. Oh, what is that? Okay, so if we each discarded a card, it would be gone. Is it worth it? I guess. So we'll do Guardian Instincts from Eve and Protection of Ra. Those cards are just getting thrown. Bye-bye, artifact. And sweet, it took basically all our cards and all our powers, but we have cleared stuff. So no enemies attack. This is advancing. So we've made the tough choice to basically destroy the library, cutting it from reality so they can't get it. Each player searches the adventure deck and discard pile for an enemy, puts it into play exhausted. The first player searches for a second enemy and puts it into play exhausted, then shuffle the adventure deck. So it's going to be another fight. Yeah, this is pretty much wrapping things up. Look, players do not draw adventure cards during the adventure phase. We just have to defeat all the enemies to win. And I think we should be doing pretty well. Our rolls have been good. Our strategy's sound. We're going to win. Let's see. Let's pick some wussier guys. I know what those called Fanatic, because they'll make me draw another card. I guess the Serpent Ninjas, we'll have 1 on each of us. And then sure, the Brotherhood Bruiser can hang out over here. And we go to our refresh phase. Let's get some cards first for Jacob. Steeped in Mythology, an obstacle defeated. That's not going to happen anymore. We just need fighting, baby. That's not going to help either. Too bad it's a fake. You gain a clue token, then search your energy for a card, and you can draw that card. But I want my energy. So these will just be mitigation, basically. And Eve has a lot going on. Let's... another get behind me. That would let her take an adventure card in Jacob's place and give him a clue. Bait and switch. Exhaust a character you control to ready a character or search... Ooh, this is so good! I can exhaust my field medic, have him trick the ninjas, and then have Eve attack again. I love it. I mean, gosh, I still don't need to spend my 1 energy. Another first aid kit. Okay, we just got some cards to throw. So I think it's safe to say Jacob and Eve playing nothing. And we basically skip the adventure phase because we don't draw any more cards. So let us whoop some butt. Angry Bar Patron, how you feel about punching a ninja? Well, Jacob, I feel pretty good, you know? Here we go. Oh, come on, dude. Well, you know, the nice thing is we've got cards to burn. So let's throw away 1 of those. Let's throw away Eve's extra first aid kit. That'll be 2 out of his 3 life. You know who's ready to do that last little bit of life? Jacob with the power of the soul. Here we go. Oh, we didn't even need the power. He's got the power in his heart, baby. It's gone. So that just leaves Eve to take out her ninja and the Brotherhood Bruiser. So let's do this. I'm going to save our shot for the Bruiser. He's got the tougher defense. With her club, it's 4 against 1. Oh, that is a nasty, nasty roll, sir. Let's get that aid token for her. So there'll be a damage and +1, but he's gone. Now she'll use her once per turn pull to get the Bruiser over here. And oh, Bruiser, you thought you were going to hit her, but it was a field medic, bait and switch, so he exhausts. She's coming right back. And let's go all in. We're already at 4 attack. How about a shot for 5 attack? How about an aid token for 6 attacks? You're down to 1 defense, sir. Yeah, this is not going to be pretty. Boom! What? Okay, that's even worse than I thought. 5 versus 0. Your 2 life ain't gonna cut it. So there we go. An army of ninjas were unable to best Eve, Jacob, the ever-important field medic, super angry bar patron, and John Larroquette. And most missions will have something like this. Here you'll see that because we won, we get to unlock some cards that'll let us add other things to our deck in the future. Here we get the ability to add the back door to our deck, which is a nice little tutoring deck searching effect to get an exact sidekick you want. And speaking of sidekicks, look who we unlock. Yes, it is Noah Wyle from the movie The Librarian himself. He's basically the Gandalf in this game, for those familiar with Lord of the Rings. Costs 5 to put in. He has 3 in everything. And when he comes in, he gets to deal 3 damage to somebody or solve an obstacle. He gets extra successes. He is the man. So that was the Librarians Adventure card game on Kickstarter now, and if you'd like to see my thoughts on the game, click the review link that just popped up. And I will note, by the way, that this was normal difficulty. There are ways to make the game even harder, since I did do pretty darn well here. So if you want a challenge, the game can definitely give you one. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.